So next, we're just going to take some time to go through a bunch of other small moves because there's really have been a lot of small moves that are worthy to talk about, but like not worthy of getting their own segment. No offense to any of these players. So we'll start out actually with Tanaka returning to Japan. That's kind of a shock to me, but understandable, I guess, in a way. But to see someone who was at the level he was, like basically turn the majors away without seeing much interest is kind of shocking. So yeah, that's really interesting. I hope he returns to the majors one day, but he certainly had quite the career while he was here. So next we'll talk about Wilson Ramos signing with the Tigers. This is kind of a curious move because the Tigers are obviously quite bad and are signing a pretty bad player who is pretty old and has like no real value anymore. So just kind of curious why they would sign like an older player like this to just clog up a spot. I'd have to guess their best hope is him providing some value, and the team that could need a catcher come the deadline calls them up. But otherwise, this is kind of confusing. Cesar Hernandez re-signed with the Indians. I mean, it makes sense, but the Indians aren't going to be very good. Cesar did have a good year last year, 283 average with a 763 OPS with some speed and defense. So a solid player. Tommy La Stella signed with the Giants. A move I really like here is Aaron Loup signing with the Mets. Now, he's not a name like Brad Hand is for the Mets, but this is a guy coming off a very solid season with the Rays and knows how to really get lefties out in a pinch and has expanded his game a little bit. So he is more than capable now of going through whole innings, which hasn't really been something he's done in the past, but he's expanded his role a little. So I think this is a good move for the Mets. Certainly not a Brad Hand, but this is definitely a guy who shores up some parts of the bullpen, to say the least. We got an interesting move here. This is the Yankees signing Darren O'Day. So it kind of brings up the question of why did they trade Ottavino just to sign Darren O'Day? Well, there's a couple possibilities. One might be money, but I think the thing must be is that they might just think O'Day is better than Ottavino and that they could save money on this. It'd be hard pressed for me to really think that. Like, obviously, O'Day had an incredible season last year, but he's going to be coming into his age 38 season, and I'm predicting Ottavino to have a bounce back. So this is not a move I would expect from the Yankees, but I think after the Ottavino trade, it certainly makes sense to add another reliever. So yeah. And one more piece of interesting news, the Pirates seem like they will trade Adam Frazier at some point, and that'll just basically be the final step of their total teardown. And yeah, that'll be the fourth player in just this offseason. That'll be Bell, Frazier, along with, God, who are even the two pitchers they traded? Anyway, that's not important. But yeah, I mean, total teardown for the Pirates. I've read that over the last 5 years, they traded, obviously, those four in addition with, we all know they traded Glasnow, Meadows, Cole, McCutchen over the last few years. You have to feel for Pirates fans, but listen, at this point, Ben Cherington knows the team is bad, so making the trades he has this offseason makes sense, where they're really just trying to reset. The other ones didn't because they were kind of in a spot to compete, but just sort of gave up. So